So boys and girls, welcome back again to Creative Silence TV, home of Kenyan politics. Remember, in Creative Silence TV, hapa tunapiga siasa unfiltered, injecting and analyzing whatever transpired in these political rallies. No, inaku affect either directly ama indirectly. But before I deep dive into this video, because today tuko na ile ingine mwechichi pertaining the trending interview of none other than Kalonzo Mosyoka na Jeff Koinange pale jana Sunday at JKL Live, an interview that led to several Kenyans be underrating none other than Kalonzo Mosyoka cause amekuwa huko juu. But after that interview, bro, that man alichikisha handball and several Kenyans will view as if he is clueless. But before I deep dive into this video, just want us to take a second or two to like this video, comment, telling us where you are watching the video from, if by any chance you are in or outside the republic, and most importantly, boys and girls, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, because by you subscribing to our YouTube channel, you automatically support the work of the Lord that we do on this platform. Boys and girls, just imagine this is none other than Kalonzo Mosyoka akiwa pale Citizen TV during prime hours, man, with none other than Jeff Koinange being asked questions now and being given a platform to express his political desires and what he can do to Kenyans. Because imagine Jeff Koinange started the conversation asking him, Kalonzo Mosyoka, 40 years, mmeshafanya nini? Here is the tape.
But when you have a president coming out and say his deputy was a murderer, now, first of all, you remember I went through a process when I was running Raila Odinga's running mate in 2013 and 2017.
Yes.
And in 2022, when I decided to support him unconditionally, and then I went through an interview process. I think that it's important, even before you pick your running mate, to be able to ask yourself a question. And these days we have AI. AI can tell you whether Jeff is a murderer or something. You cannot then, after you have gone through, elected on one ticket, then turn around years later and say your deputy was a murderer. And you cannot prove it. Because somehow you realize that it is time out, time up, your time is over. And then you lose sense of direction and decorum. Now, the office of the president under the Constitution is a very high office. He's a CEO of a country. And therefore, you have to really show moderation. Even the good Bible, I mean, which I believe in, and I think William is a Bible reader as well. You know, when a king wakes up and you are angry, then the whole country becomes very uncomfortable. So I cannot therefore know balance of probability. What William Ruto did by abusing and calling Rigathi a murderer, saying Eugene Wamalwa in unprintable things, and now he's come up with a new formulation. He wants them investigated for things I do not understand. I must tell William that in law, when you're dealing with people's will, right, one can die intestate or after writing a will. So, the case of Kijana Wamalwa, for example, he died intestate. He didn't leave a will. And those matters are now in court. So how does William Ruto all of a sudden rise up and begin to call Eugene Wamalwa is not an administrator of the estate, he's not an executor, because an executor is if there's a will. The whole thing is funny, and matters are in court. I think this president has not been properly briefed. On the other hand, with regard to Rigathi Gachagua, when his senior brother died, it's nearly going to 10 years. A proper will was written. He died tested. He wrote a will on how the estate was to be distributed. And I'm actually informed that even students at the Kenya School of Law are able to look at that will. Very well written, very well executed. So 10 years later, for political reason, you want now to besmirch the character of your former deputy president. So these things are what I mean. I think there's a problem, some gap in briefing, because a head of state should be one who is properly briefed on before he utters some of this.
So the question is,
to Kenyan surprise, man, being a presidential candidate, this man was clueless. I think I felt for none other than Kalonzo Mosyoka, because tell me, how can a political figure of caliber of none other than Kalonzo Mosyoka be asked question related to Kenya, then jamaa anasema ati he doesn't even know if she is working. And by the way, kuna mahali alisema a very interesting thing, that his daughter alipewa kazi na au watu wa Sham na that he don't even know why he was why she was given that job. You see, these politicians think that we were born yesterday. So yani Jeff Koinange alikuwa kuuliza jamaa swali, yani an open conversation baali Jeff Koinange atakuwa anamuuliza swali zingine ngumu ngumu, the way hiyo bench inakuwa hot. I was surprised with none other than Kalonzo Musyoka. 40 years you don't even know that the roads zimekuwa developed kwenu. I think that kama William Samoei Ruto ndiye angekuwa amepewa hiyo chance ya kusema, hata kama saa hizi watu kila mtu amejamu na hivi vibaya, man, huyu jamaa angeongea within, jamaa anaweza sema kitu mpaka kipita hata hiyo 2 hours yenye Kalonzo alipewa. I think I felt that none other than Kalonzo for the first time. Man, ule jamaa ni clueless buda. Kusema tu kweli, ule jamaa ana kitu. I don't know if I don't know if he was confused. I don't know if it was the first time jamaa kwa Jeff Koinange live, and alikuwa na stressed pertaining hizo questions zenye Jeff Koinange siku hizi anawauliza. But I also saw this man alikuwa kuuliza a very interesting question, because jamaa alikuwa CS wa education wa a question yenye angejibu perfectly as a person who have worked under that docket. And trust me, Kalonzo Musyoka alishindwa kujibu hata hiyo swali simple. So for me, basically, I think that after watching that interview, I felt that Kalonzo, man, huyu jamaa kama tunampea chance kuwa president wa nchi, this man does not want it. Kusema tu kweli, because tell me, the guy is clueless. The guy hapo angeuza ma agendas, angetuselea what we want to listen. He right now knows what we want to know. And this is why Rigathi Gachagua in that united opposition, that man at least is the guy who akiongea several people wanataka kumsikiza kitu anasema, because he knows to attack while defending. I think that kama kuna if I was Kalonzo at the moment na nijipige noma hivyo, I think so easy ningekuwa nimefire all my communication officers au watu wote wangekuwa nyumbani, because these people were to prepare him in advance, told him what to expect from that interview. Man, jamaa anaenda interview yani clueless, yani anaenda nikani jezi mwenye ameambiwa kuna kazi na wanahitaji interviews, then jamaa kuenda huko anaambiwa oh cheki kuna kazi. The way Jen's response to these interviews, I think that hapo Kalonzo alitushikisha handball vibaya, and probably maybe next time ama maybe akipata another chance atasema vitu zina make sense. But hiyo mama, any people, the world is watching you Kalonzo, then all of a sudden you just say you are malicious things. You don't say what people want to listen. Right now, you know, people have wrath with the president. Instead of you asking a lot of questions pertaining that thing, so does this man really knows how economy runs? I think hata ngipigia nini Nyoro and pay some clue about economy, what things that are trending in economy at the moment. Because saizi anapiga kelele na huko mbale watu wanauzia mafuta paleta 400 Kenya shillings. Bana Kalonzo, it's high time that kama you don't want to do politics, leave politics for young people who can. I think that right now you guys are starting to understand why the Kenyan Gen Zs were seriously angry with you guys, because you guys, you don't know, you don't have information pertaining what's happening in this country. Ni mnamaliza tu kazi mkipigana simu mkasema oh ya cheki rada ni kepo 2 million bwana, ama tufanye hivi na hivi na hivi. Pesa zinaibo kwa juzi tumepoteza 6 billion. Instead of you speaking of such kind of things, man, unasema you are just speaking about the nonsense stuff. I think that Kalonzo hapo ulijipiga noma as a person who has been in this political scene for years, a person who knows information, and in fact for 40 good years, man, you can't even explain things, you can't even compare the previous administration and this one and tell us, man, this and this used to happen during this government and hii inafanyika hivi. Tunasemaga ni mbaya. Anyway guys, let me know your own thoughts on comment section. How can you rate your interview ya Kalonzo na Jeff Koinange? Because me basically kipatia rating out of 10 naweza ipatia a 3 out of 10, because big English ndio jamaa alikuwa anampeleka hapo, but content ni ile sifuri, because ni kama jamaa alikuwa historian ameenda hapo kutupigia story. At last, I was your host Silas. Till next video, bye bye.